So let's just go ahead and run that back for the sake of the video. Welcome to day 5. This has been amazing, and I appreciate y'all pulling up on time every time, as if like this is the most important thing in your life right now. So, that doesn't go unnoticed. So at this moment, I'm just literally trying to see how y'all feeling so far about the boot camp. And yeah, what has been like literally ruminating in your mind since you guys started.
For me, I've been plotting like the Sunday through Tuesday strategy. So I've been going back literally months per chart, charting every single Friday, charting every single where the area would be at, like when the second or third touch would be on like that Monday or Tuesday, and then devising my own strategy on top of that to see like where I would enter at, where would be the most realistic place of entry for me, and then like adding where viable buy stops and sell stop losses would be at for myself per chart. And I've been doing that. I'm like right now going into last year for a few of these. I'm gonna be probably doing this like the entire weekend, well, outside of like going to the gym and stuff, but like and then like applying other things. I'm taking everything you're saying basically, and I'm putting into practical application. And then I literally can't wait till Monday or Tuesday to really actually do this.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Anybody else? Like, have you guys been like really seeing the market differently since we started? Let me check the chat. I know some people are not able to speak. They're probably driving or something like that. But make the effort. Feel free to unmute yourselves and tell me so far what this boot camp has been doing to you and your perspective as a trader.
Journaling, writing things down so you can see it or and go back to it because like the more with the screenshots of what you're actually seeing. So when you go back, it's kind of paint a picture in your head, like you said, hey, I've seen this before. So you'd be um knowing what to do. So that's mainly what I did this week. Like took 2 trades. I said, well, I write it down and I write down the reason and then some of the strategies that you've been doing the Friday to Tuesday. Took the screenshot, wrote it down, say what I need to do if I see X, Y, and Z, and not to be afraid. So basically, this week, all I've been learning is I need to write things down so my mind can get used to it and my eyes can get used to seeing it.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Please don't be shy. Like, I really want to hear your input. Okay. All right. I'll do what y'all usually like me to do. I'm gonna call you by your name. D, how you feel about the boot camp so far and what has it done um so far in your trading?
Well, I think the boot camp has been really informative. Um, I just been, writing down things and just going back testing and looking at different the ways you do things. And the 30-minute, you know what? I think trading off the 30-minute is bomb. It really is. And I just really started realizing that in the last couple of days. I mean, I know I saw you doing it a lot, but something
Absolutely.
about that 30-minute, and then when you drill down and look for that entry, mm, that's pretty boss.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, Deandra, how are you? Let me know. Like what are some things that really has like stuck with you so far?
So far, I've been working on my psychology,
Yes.
um, not having that fear of missing out.
Yes.
And I went over the video from what was that? Day, well, day 4. No, yesterday was day 4. The
Yeah.
video where you talked about how to look at it from Friday to um
To
I think
Tuesday.
it was, yeah, Friday to Tuesday. So I said I was going to start implementing that, but I am just really focusing on my psychology, not having fear of missing out, not getting overzealous of getting into a trade without actually knowing if my chart is set up to execute that trade.
Absolutely. Amen. Okay. Love that. Love that. Love that. Bianca says, so far the boot camp has given me a lot more clarity when it comes to the market structure and knowing that 2 touches is powerful. Yes. Also, the sweep and retest was like a light bulb. My background is lit out at the moment. I appreciate that. Appreciate that for sure. Does anybody agree with her? And that definitely helps
Yes,
with the fear of missing out because
especially
like
that 2 touch.
yep, that 2 touch. And you like, damn, it's crazy. I don't have to feel anxious because literally market will break, pull back and retest, just like an elevator. You just click on it. Yes, a couple people already went and the elevator went up, but you click on it, you wait, it comes back, you get in, you go straight to your room at the level you need. Going up, you know? So, and I also touch on a lot of psychology. For example, um, knowing how to posture yourself, knowing that like what's not for you is not for you, but what's for you will be for you. How do you put yourself in a mental state of how do you not really let the losses bother you too much, but instead like motivate you to be better prepared? If anybody, oh, Angel, I know you got some sauce that you want to drop, bro. So far, how do you feel about what you've been learning? I know you've been one of the most vocal.
Peace. So right from the rip, the journal definitely has given me a broader perspective of how to approach my desk, approach the laptop, my day. It gives me a deeper sense of direction with taking it serious and not just winging things.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm gonna be honest, and I gotta hold myself accountable. Um, 2 days ago, my schedule didn't let me join the class, and then yesterday, I totally knocked out. So I got some catching up to do.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Oh, my real voice is coming back. Thank you, Lord. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Who else did I? Althea, you have anything you'd like to say?
I just think it's I really enjoyed listening in the class, especially being someone new.
Yeah.
Just I just found the teaching and even the collaboration amongst people just to be grounded, very forthcoming, informative. Um, the information on the trading is great. Like I said, I'm really enthusiastic about the 30 minutes and the Sunday through Tuesday setup. I found very interesting, but more so I'm finding it's about a lot more than just trading and just getting it all together. Essentially, they talk being a whole person, but that matters a lot, it seems.
Of course, of course. Knowing yourself is key. You cannot operate in an environment of abundance if you keep on reacting from a place of lack. It's just not gonna work, you know? I will say, like, you don't wake up and want to do amazing things with a negative mind or a mindset not open for receiving blessings, right? And let me, I have a corporate, very well-mannered side, and I have a not a ghetto, but like a real dude side. I'm not sure if y'all caught on to that so far. I try to balance it very well, but the fact that I'm not working for anyone, like I choose to carry whichever side as long as I'm effective at the message that I'm delivering. You can't do real shit by being fake. All right. That's one thing. And you can't wake up and want to one day make somebody's salary, which is like a fuck you to society, by waking up with half-ass energy. You can't do it. You have to be able to be clear-minded to wake up and choose violence and choose aggressive and pretty much sheer utmost unapologetic energy to execute something that matters for your growth and elevation. Y'all see where I'm coming from, right? Like when you wake up and you want to do this for you, nobody should stop you, not even you. Once you're done with that Philippians 4:13, God already told you you could do all things through him who strengthened you. Then so who else is stopping you but you, right? So I don't just want y'all to remember I was well spoken or this felt great. And I always say this in all my boot camps. I don't want y'all to get this whole church feedback. You know what the church feedback thing is? You went to church, pastor was screaming on top of his lungs and telling you words. Yes, Lord, yes, pastor. Oh, yeah. Oh, pastor was preaching today. What he say? I don't remember, but he was definitely, I felt the spirit. You had nothing to retain. Everything was dopamine based, and you had nothing applicable to pretty much use in your own personal lives, the structure, the discipline, things like that. So I want y'all to, that's why I'm always checking. I'm like, yo, out of all the things that I'm saying, which one stood out? Which one are you writing notes about? Because I'm afraid these 10 days is about to be done. We're halfway through. We're halfway through. And I'm worried that this is just going to be a 10 days of like good feel good energy, and then you go back to being yourself and you're all alone. No, I want you to feel strong and have enough for the road, because it can be a long road. And some of y'all you're at your last lap, your last stretch. If it's that, or you're about to just leave. But then you see everybody trading futures now. You're like, oh, I want to try that one too. You're gonna get clapped over there too. If you don't have setups that are of high quality and you understand the structure, the back end of the market, you're going to get clapped in any type of market. And unfortunately, this market is a reflection of how you move in real life. Whatever you deal with internally, it comes out externally as you click that button. If you feel like you don't deserve wealth, if you don't deserve certain things, you're literally going to self-sabotage. Your mind knows how to get you to the right results depending on what you want. That's why sometimes you get into trading, you just don't, you got the bubble guts, you fidgety because you don't know why you're in the trade. You just know you want money. If somebody were to give you $1 million, you would just give it back. You just spend it, give it back to people who know how to really manage money. So I want y'all to remember these things. Sometimes I give you guys the sweet, the sour, and the shit that you're going to remember. Okay? So let's carry on today. I want to talk about some things. I see that the highlight of this boot camp so far is the Friday to Tuesday strategy. I don't want that to be the only strategy, because that's not the only thing the market does. There are other things. And so when you are very excited to try on something new, you're bound to make some mistakes. I just want y'all to know mistakes is what got me to become better. But I just also taught y'all to document the mistakes so you can challenge yourself to figure out what you can do better next time. All right. So I want y'all to write this if it's not in your note. Welcome alternative ideas for growth. I need y'all to welcome alternative ideas for growth. Meaning, if you took a loss and it didn't play out the way you wanted, don't just stop at like the satisfaction of beating yourself up. Oh yeah, my mom was always right. She always said I never amount to nothing. Uh man, my dad was right. I guess I'm always just built for like toxicity and destruction, da 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 da. Like I'm sure y'all got a lot of trauma in your lives that you never dealt with and talked about. And then now you are dealing with this trading thing where it's challenging every aspect, every fiber of who you are. I have dealt with some trauma too. And I remember I used to manifest it aggressively, especially when everybody around you keeps saying, you say you trade, but I never see you make no money. You still riding around this car. And God forbid, one more thing happens to you out of the day and it just breaks you down. You ever been walking out the door and the door latches onto the side pocket and you just break down and cry because it was the last straw, like the last straw. And sometimes you out here trading or you want to make something shake, you got bills, your four tires are bald, ladies, and you're trying to make some money to cover that. How you gonna do that? I want y'all to, by the end of this boot camp, to know if you need $500, you know exactly what you got to see within this market to extract that shit. Who wouldn't want that? If you need $10,000, you basically finally met somebody who'll tell you, yo, this is going to be your 2-month plan. If you do that like that and you see these setups at least 5 times out of the month or 10 times out of the month, this is how I want you to go about this trade. This is the type of account you might need, the size you might need to have, the lot size you might have to use. And then remember, we don't have good credit, but this market don't care. If I can pull out $100 for the next 10 days out of the month, that's an extra 1K. This is what I want y'all to be thinking about. This is why I'm here. I'm not here just to make you feel inspired. I want to give you tools so that way you have a better outlook about choosing to learn to trade. Put some 7 on the chat if you guys are feeling me on what I'm saying right now, because this is for your benefit, not mine. I don't already seen what I can do. I done blew my mind in the type of things I've been able to do at this point. I'm like, oh my God. I can't even divide by 8 hours of a 9 to 5 anymore because it wouldn't make sense how much somebody would pay me per hour. My bro, price just went up. My worth feels different when I walk on this earth. Like $60 per hour is cool, but I can make a lot more than that within an hour. Once you start seeing that and you can see that you can duplicate that over and over, you're going to start seeing you're going to start seeing yourself a lot differently. You're like, oh, wow. Yeah, I can still be a nurse. Yeah, I can still be in IT. Yes, I can still be a doctor. You know what? I don't care much that I didn't have to amount to become this anymore. Now I can become a world changer. Now I can become a lot more effective in ministry or helping my church or my community. You'll be surprised, a lot of people who are in different stages of their careers that you probably look up to, they got the same problems you do because it's an economy that's very weak. And not everybody has the knowledge of extracting extra funds. Everybody has the mentality of being consumers. Okay? So learning to trade and being effective at it is such a flex. Because you know what's ironic, guys? I know a lot of people who done came back to me 5, 7 years later, like, yo, I need to learn how to trade, brother. And I'm like, damn, I thought you doing pretty good. He's like, yeah, but when the bills come, I mean, shit, 5 years ago, I didn't have 2 kids, huh? So I'm like, oh yeah, you right. He's like, yeah, but I still got that job, and it would be a very weird conversation to ask my boss to give me an extra 15K raise. I'm like, damn, that's true. So it's funny how like even if you got a career, you still would love to know how to make money outside of your job or to fund your goals, right? And if you can't do that with trading, you're gonna have to get a loan. And even if you do know how to trade, let's say you have good credit, you probably wouldn't even want to go entertain the idea of having a loan because you feel like you're gonna blow that money. So this is why I want y'all to understand some of those setups that I'm telling you, because you can literally have a goal to make $20,000 next year or something like that, just to fund your side business or to finally go into something that you really wanted to do. All right. I don't know what your goals are, but start thinking effectively that this will work on your behalf. Okay. Now, I want to talk about account recovery. I want to talk about skipping a trading day for clarity. I want to talk about other setups, other high quality setups. Let's say additional high quality setups. All right. So we got about 30 minutes. I'm not going to hold you guys too long. Number one, the Friday to Tuesday strategy is great, but then there's Wednesday and Thursday and Friday as well. How do you, if let's say you missed that trade, that setup that I was teaching y'all, I don't want y'all to feel like, damn, that's it for the week. Okay. Number two, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I took a loss on Wednesday, and it taught me something because I realized that sometimes what you think is greed is not greed, it's an over anticipation or an under assumption of what the next scenario might be. For example, Tuesday night, I got into a beautiful trade. What was it? Yeah, it was Wednesday morning. Yeah. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, I got into a beautiful trade for GBP USD. Okay. And I was gonna tell y'all all about it because it was so cool. I called a friend of mine and I told him, yo, bro, GU is gonna buy. I know the setup. And honestly, it was the Friday, it was the Friday to Tuesday strategy that I'm looking at it. And then so by the time it was like 12 a.m., I knew Price had no choice but to buy. And even if it didn't, I'd be okay with that because the stop loss was below Tuesday, 1 p.m., right? Because we had Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So by Asia, I didn't care. I got into this buy, put my stop loss like 20 pips below, and I went to sleep calmly. I went to sleep with like no worries. And so I said, I'll bet you when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm gonna be in so much good profit. And yeah, sure enough, I got in. I woke up by like 5, and that shit was up. I'm like, like I'm feeling myself in the middle of the night, wifey laying next to me, and I'm just looking at these blues like, yep. And I'm gonna show you guys. So I'm Gucci, and now I really shouldn't need to be trading, but the thing is, I thought I saw another great opportunity on gold. And then this was a W formation, and gold was just pushing all week. And so I saw the W formation by 8:30 and maintained it by 9. It was pushing by 10. We made it here. And the next candle literally pushed down like that. I'm like, okay, not bad. Then it started pushing even more. I'm like, yo, I'm screwed. And guess what? I went trying to like recover and thinking price was just gonna sweep the bottom to push even higher because I was really looking forward to see them touch 2,500 because that's the type of this is what it looked like it was about to give. And so that trade ruined it for me and I lost some funds. So I'm gonna show you guys the conversation I had. And so, and what sucked was like I felt so proud of where I was, and just one trade made me feel like, come on, what is this thing doing? All right, let me move out of that real quick until it works. I don't want y'all to be reading too much into my business. But the gold trade didn't play out. And I was like, damn, what the hell? I felt some type of way, but at this point in my trading, it doesn't bother me super, super much. All because I know myself, I've seen myself recover, and I never even realized that this was a thing until I was doing it. Do you know what's a slept on skill when it comes to trading? It's how well you can recover from losses, or slash, what is your recovery time like when you take a loss or you lost your streak? It's a slept on skill. I would call it a soft skill. Like, one thing about me, I'm gonna come back from a loss. Like, you ain't even got much uh worry about it. Like, I will come back from that loss. And it's gonna be under the right circumstances because I've studied setups that I realized, you know what? If I took a loss, if I see this setup, I'm gonna literally get back right. Okay, let's see if this WhatsApp is working again. I'm gonna have to force quit that job. And so I felt hurt to watch gold selling off. And I had to sit on my hands because I needed to recalibrate my emotions. And I needed to pretty much understand what the hell y'all gonna do next. So this is why I said you gotta learn to skip a day to let price show you its move so you can understand what to do next. So because I was confused as to like whether we're gonna continue buying or if we're selling for real, I needed to see price break this structure and pull back so I can tell what's the move for Thursday. Now, granted, I don't think I traded Thursday because I missed my setup. I think I was telling you guys this yesterday. I missed out on my setup. And the setup is, if I'm looking at London and I'm seeing how the retracement is happening, I want to sometimes see price take out the pre-market or retest the pre-market price action. Now, some of y'all are what? What? What are you talking about? Pre-market? That's exactly where I wanted to get to. Now, some of you guys who are my private students know about this jump. It's called the pre-market setup. The pre-market setup is basically when the market retests 8:30 in the morning Eastern time, or it just sweeps right above it to replace the price so they can make some more money off of the sales at a premium price. So what I notice is this really gives me a huge advantage because I don't always have to put my stop loss so far up. I just got to see them retest or sweep the pre-market. And then there goes my entry with a very nice stop loss, not that far. So now that gives me a really good risk to reward, or a like, if I'm not sure if y'all do this, but me, when it comes to risk, if I'm gonna risk $1,000, right? and my stop loss is 35 pips, the lot size automatically is bigger versus if I were to put if I was risking $1,000 and my stop loss had to be 70 pips. Okay. And I'm going to show you how I can conclude to that statement. Oh man, I'm gonna have to turn off my laptop after this because it's not supposed to be this slow. Where you at? I'm not gonna click on calculator. It's taking mad long. All right. So if I'm risking $1,000 divided by 70 pips, I'm gonna have to use a 1.4 lot size. But if I'm risking $1,000 and the stop loss is 35 pips, automatically I can use a 2.8 lot size. So understanding why putting your stop loss somewhere, which because you've seen it many times that they don't much have to go that far to move, helps you to decrease your distance and stop loss. And that gives you a lot more bang for your rate or for your risk. My mom was trying to say trade and risk at the same time. It didn't work. So this strategy or this level of understanding helps me to like literally get into some crazy trades, even on gold, even on US 30. That's why a lot of y'all see that I can comfortably trade gold and US 30 sometimes at the same time. And y'all like, yo, I don't box with US 30. I never liked it. It's toxic. Yeah, it can be a little funny sometimes, but what pair doesn't give you some headache at times? You just got to remember that as long as the setups that you see happen more often than the terrible like market conditions, then you ain't got much to worry about. Okay. So I literally felt weird about missing all this that could have potentially made my loss back from Wednesday, but I had to sit on my hands all because I missed out on my entry. 256 pips. So I was like, damn, that sucks. Right. But I also appreciated that I got to see what I needed to see. That price is no longer buying because it broke the structure of the previous higher low and they retested back here. Where did they retest back to? They retested Wednesday's price action, damn near market open on the next day. And when price connects with the previous day like that and they break and retest like that, this setup has taught me time and time again that they've made their decision. They're going to be going this direction until the end of the day or for the next 24 hours. So let me reiterate. When price breaks and retests on a Thursday, for example, and when you look, they retested the previous day or on a Wednesday, they're going to be selling off for the next 24 hours or the end of the session. It's the same thing with the Friday to Tuesday strategy or whatever, or price comes back and retests Monday on a Tuesday, or price comes back and retests Friday on a Monday. And once they're done doing that, they're going to be heading in that direction for the next set of hours, sometimes until the end of the session. So when they give you a proper break and retest on a higher time frame, like the H1, the M30, as long as you can see the correlation between the 2 days, they're going to be respecting that and going the opposite way. Because this is a proper break and retest. This is a proper lower low, lower high. And this also teaches us that for those of y'all who have trouble understanding when the trend changes, this is a good setup or concept to understand. Because remember, I was not sure if we're going to keep buying, but I for sure knew we was not going to buy anymore once price broke and retested and pretty much connected with Wednesday on Thursday. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Anybody
think
confused?
no, on my notes yesterday about when price break an area.
Yeah,
I have to wait for it to come back. Yeah, I put that note down actually yesterday.
good.
You said, keep in mind that if price come back to an area that I entered and it doesn't hold, I need to close. I need to close and wait for it to touch back. So that way it's gonna turn to a supply. It's gonna sell to where it previously came back from.
Yeah, exactly.
Could
Because,
you do it again for me? Explain one more time, or even like on a different chart, just so I could see it again.
bro, I so appreciate when somebody tells me to break it down again. That gives me a challenge to like say it in even more simple terms. So that's why I'm like, yo, guys, I don't know who's been y'all mentor before or who's been yelling at you guys when you ask them a question. That's not this. I love it when y'all ask me questions. Okay. I know it's a new relationship, but you're gonna love it over here. All right. I know them folks don't be treating y'all right out there, and you don't get that treatment. You don't get spoiled. You know, people don't care about your opinions. That it's not that over here, okay? And a lot of my people that have been rocking with me for a long time, they know how I rock, okay? So I'm just putting that out there. Don't feel weird or annoyed that no one's listening to your input. None of that. Okay. You got to get your money's worth, even if it's $75. Okay. Treat it like you paid me 7,500. Okay. Because that's how I'm treating you guys. So how I usually know that price is not going to keep going in one particular direction is when price was doing like higher highs, higher lows, and then it failed to make a new high. I wouldn't have known that because clearly I took a loss, right? I just be like, you know what? I'm gonna have to let this day tell me what's going on. So the next day I could be better prepared because I need more confirmation that this is for real what you doing. You with me, bro? So I pretty much use sometimes I like to skip a day just so I could let the market reveal to me like everything it needed to reveal to me so I can carry on and continue. For example, this usually happens when price is selling and you try to figure out if it's done selling. So I don't mind waiting for a price to do a break and retest. And I needed a whole entire day for me to like catch on. Because I sometimes I consider myself to be slow, right? I'm like, let me act like I'm slow and just figure out my enemy before I make my next move. So it's kind of like when gold was selling, 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 and this big candle just like ran. I can't tell if this right here means we're gonna keep selling or we're gonna buy, right? So I'd rather wait for price to break above that previous lower high and like come back here. And even if it takes Friday and Monday, I don't care because I just need to make sure when I do trade, it makes sense that I'm trading in the right direction. And so I needed that whole entire day and that whole entire move to show me that no, bro, we're no longer selling. In fact, we just broke structure past the lower high here. And now we back connecting with this area and we maintaining the structure. I'm like, okay, good. Now I get what y'all are doing. Now I can take a trade for the buy because now I know y'all for real actually buying. But some of y'all, you know, we've been taught the wrong way. We didn't know like it's okay to wait sometimes. And you feel like when you missed out on this, your whole week is ruined. But really, me, I just play connect the dots. I need to see information for me to feel safe that if I make a decision, it really was the best decision. Like I got to see clearly. Make you feel me, Stefan?
Yes, absolutely. I follow you.
Yeah. So I don't mind like if price was selling and I couldn't tell what the hell's going on here, and then it was Tuesday, I'll let a whole day slide just so I can pull up and understand that, oh, okay, you broke structure here clearly, and now you pull back in here. All right, so now I can tell y'all are actually bullish for me to make a good decision. So I literally will skip a day sometimes just to recalibrate, but also let the market give me clarity. Like, show me what you really about. Like, don't try to like play around the bush. Like, let me see what you doing so I can, like catch on. Yeah,
That yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate you
that,
breaking that.
for sure, bro. For sure. And so that's why sometimes when y'all be like, yo, what's the market doing? I'm like, fam, I don't know. And I'm not afraid to tell you, I don't know. I'm not about to try and act like I got the answers, right? I will literally like wait for a break of structure somewhere and a retest to connect. And once I see them days connecting, I'm like, I bet. Now I can tell you what's going on. Like, for example, I have a student of mine. I got in on a one-on-one with him, like off the fly, like 20 minutes. And then as soon as I got in, I'm like, bro, how you feeling? Yeah, man, I was in a couple other like live calls, bro. And like this trader, he was saying on the call, like, yo, I don't know where US 30 is going, and like all this market's being like pretty weird. And I was like, yeah, dude, like I feel him on that. Like, I don't know like what's going on. And then and I all we all do it as traders sometimes, but you got to catch yourself operating on an energy that's like fidgety and uncertain. Like, you're just not sure. If you're not sure, stay away. You don't have to be right all the time. Stop chasing being right to fulfill or feel like certain areas in your life where no one's listening to you, or you don't always get, you're not always heard. So you're beating the market up. Don't do that. If you're wrong, you're wrong. I got about 2 attempts, sometimes 3, until I'm already turned off and I don't even need to pursue it. Because one thing my setups do for me is they play out very well. So if a setup is acting up, baby girl, it's okay. You're not qualified. Like, I'm not about to try and make it happen for real today. Even if it runs and I'm a little upset that it ran, I know I'm gonna catch another setup because I know like a good few of them. And I read behavior of the markets. So I'm like, if I missed out Wednesday, I just need to see one thing like, okay, price is sweeping Wednesday on a Thursday. Okay, now we know what we're about to do. We're getting in those buys because price is going to continue. But what typically happens though is, if you can't tell that price, for instance, is like making new highs, and you can't tell where it's going because there's nothing on the left, wait for price to retrace. Because if we are in a bullish trend, wait for the retracement. And if price is done making a whole bunch of highs and it needs to retrace, you know what they like to do? For example, on a Thursday, they'll just sweep the Wednesday's highs and come back down. So I told him, yo, you worried about the wrong thing. You sitting here trying to force the future on what's going to happen. Just wait. We react. We don't predict so far into the unknown. We just react. And if you can't tell what's going on, this is a great week for you to sit back, put your hands on your ass, and just observe. Gather data like a scientist. Stop trying to make every trade work. Some things are not meant for you to understand because that's not something you've studied yet. Or this is the first time you've seen it. This is the first time you're getting clapped. Or maybe the market has an anomaly type of day, like, or a week. If it's just not working for you, just don't trade it. That's why it's important for you to know setups that work. So that way you don't play with your worth on the charts. You can't be choosing every pip that move, every candle that moves. You got to study things that work, that are consistent with you. Okay. So this is why I say, like, there's price sweeping the previous day, that makes me take a buy trade or a sell trade, right? If it's sweeping the bottom of the previous day, I'm already prepared to see something like that happen and my finger on the trigger. And now I have my stop loss already, maybe 50 to 60 points below me if I take a trade like that on US 30. That's a trade I'll take on a Wednesday or a Thursday if it's sweeping the previous day. All right. So that's another setup, the sweep of the previous day. Because once price sweeps the previous day, it literally runs for the next 45 minutes to 2 to 3 hours. If I'm getting in at like the 9:30, 9:45, by 10, I'm closing some partials because they like to do that nasty pullback, which I don't like. But I know by 11 also there's like a continuation, or by 12:30 or 1, there's a continuation. I've been burnt so many times that I'm like, yo, if I like the profit, I'm not gonna stay in there because like I literally could use the profit that I just gained and use some of it to get back in if I'm not done seeing the potential of the setup. All right. So let's get back into the pre-market setup because I'm literally teaching you guys 2 setups with the behavior. Many times I noticed that price doesn't have to retest all the way into the imbalance like some of y'all think. Sometimes all price has to do is retest the pre-market 8:30 by 9:30, and then they either sweep it or respect it, and then they push. So then that allows me to tighten my stop loss and not have to put it that far. I literally be putting it right below the previous day and right below the pre-market. The pre-market is 8:30 a.m. So I'll notice price will like bounce here at 8:30, then pull back in again at like 9:30, and then they literally just do that. And I'm like, oh shoot, okay, well, if you're keeping it tight, I'm keeping it tight too. 40 points. Imagine you risking 40 points to make 290 or 300. And that could literally be a super great day for you, even if you have a small account. Because imagine you risking $40 stop loss on a $1 trade and you're making 300 for the day. If you withdraw that type of money 10 times in a month, how much money did you just make, Rich? If you withdraw $300 10 times off of a setup that happens a lot more often than you think within a month, the pre-market retest or pre-market sweep, how much money do you think you will make? Can somebody answer that, please? Somebody answered 3 bands. That's right.
3,000.
That's right. That's right. And so let me show you how many times price has done that. They retest the pre-market 8:30. Oh, let me use that joint. And honestly, the pre-market 8:30 retest happens. You can see a lot better on like the M15 or M5. I like to use, once I already know what day it is, now I'm like, let's see if price is gonna retrace at the 8:30. So I just pretty much put me a little horizontal line right here. Vertical line. And I'm seeing if price is gonna retest it within a trend. Like if it's already bouncing off the demand zone, I don't need to see too much. That's why I don't have a whole bunch of crap on my screen. You notice I don't have much. Right? So I know price is pulling back to bounce. By 9:30, 10, and whatever, if you're respecting the 8:30 or you swept it, when I say sweep, I just want to clarify. It's like price wants to get something cheaper, so they go just a smidge under where the previous price was so they can push higher, right? So if I notice that they're sweeping the pre-market 8:30 and they go down, up, as it's going up, here goes me entering right here, stop loss below the 8:30, and we're going. You going up, I'm going up with you. So this happens very, very often, right? So this happened here July 17th. Obviously, this did not happen that day, but we did see price bounce twice here. I didn't get to take this trade. It was way too early for them to push this fast. Okay. 8:30, price swept here. I wouldn't have liked this, but if price is retesting 9:30, 9:45 in the afternoon, I'm still take that buy. This would have not played out, but it still would have been something that I attempted to trade. Moving on. July 12th. Which time frame is best for entry? M15. M15. 15-minute time frame. All right. Boom. Price 8 a.m. 8:45. Okay, by 10:45, I see price was still messing around here. And it also respected Tuesday. This was the demand for Tuesday, Wednesday. As soon as I see price picking up, I'm sure this is a trade that I would have taken even if I didn't see it like bounce off the 8:30 pre-market, because I can see the correlation between the previous day and that current day. I'm gonna still take the buy. Let's move on. Okay, it's Monday, 9:15, 8:45. Okay, this wasn't there. So notice it's not always the same behavior all the time, but once it happens, you're in there like swimming. All right, so boom, 6:45, 9:30, not there neither. Okay. 8, 8:30, 9:30. There it goes, right here. So okay, let's say it's Tuesday. Obviously, we already know how I'm feeling about Tuesday. I'm pulling up. I look, I see Friday was here, Monday was here, Tuesday is here, 3 a.m., 7:45. Okay. 8 between 7:45 to 8 a.m. I'm typically looking at what price is doing if I'm home, just so I can get all this data and give myself enough time to like see what's going on. Right. So if I see prices like preparing itself by 8, 9, and I'm like, okay, I see the structure, break and retest. Okay, I'm getting in that buy for sure, and I'm putting my stop loss below London. Now, if I didn't want to get in by the 9:45, because I typically don't like to do that, by 11 or 12:30, if I see a break and retest, it don't matter if it's 12:30. I still got a chance to be profitable for the day off the break and retest. Now, do you guys notice how even if I'm not seeing that one specific setup, I'm not literally just throwing structure out the window? This is why I've had this issue with so many ways people teach. They want to teach you a strategy, but you're left clueless because, like, if the strategy is not there, you just can't find a trade. But you always have to understand structure as well. And break and retest, very easy to spot. So by 12:30, 11:15, 11:30, you still have a trade if price is respecting structure. Right? So I'm also trying to let y'all understand too that some of your best setups might not be there, but a break and retest, you should still be like, all right, if I see a break and retest, this is how much I'm risking. If I see my specific setup, this is how much I'm risking. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
You can't have the same standard for everybody. Some setups are high quality. Some setups are like, I'll still get in, but I'm not gonna go in that hard. Because that's how you're able to pace yourself. You can play good offense, but you got to know how to play great defense too. Great defense meaning maintaining the account. If you had a great trade, don't trade the same level of risk so you can lose it. It's important as well. Which reminds me, when I took that loss Wednesday, not only did I like not trade for the next 24 hours, but I realized like, damn, if I'm going to, this is the psychology part. If I'm going to trade, even though I had a great day already, and if I think I see another good setup, the minute that I'm in profit, I need to move my stop loss in front of that trade. Because really, I should not be losing much or anything from what I just gained. You don't let a winner of a day turn into a loser. So I was like, damn, at my big age, as a trader who's been trading for 8 years, it's still little small tweaks and improvements and levels of awareness that I still have to like be mindful of. You know what I'm saying? It's just like no matter how great of a legend you are on the court, if you're having an off night, you're having an off night, and you still got to go back to the basics. And you still got to work on your game. Welcome that. Welcome those type of things. So I'm like, damn. It's always when you take a loss, you find a lesson out of it. Why couldn't it just be that I figured it out? Nope. Everything comes with a price. Everything in life has an exchange. You either embrace the lesson out of it or you just keep on like complaining about it. Choose which one you think is going to bring you growth. So I said to myself, next time for sure, be mindful. If you are up for the week, up for the day, and you see another setup you think is going to play out, you don't know if that's really going to be true. The only thing you know is that you made this profit already. So be mindful. As soon as you're in a trade and it's in profit, make sure you do the necessary things to put the stop loss in front of the trade just so you can protect it and what you already had gained. That's a jewel, right?
Yes, sir.
Did everybody hear what I just said?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. How many of you guys have like had a great trade and then literally gave it back because you thought you saw something? So everybody. Okay, it's 8:03 p.m. I promise you guys I will show you more out of the pre-market setup. I don't want to stay too long because I did make a promise and I want to make good out of the amount of information I'm giving you within an hour, hour and a half. And plus, I do have a video that breaks down the pre-market. We'll just talk about it. Now, I want to say something. Tomorrow, do you guys still want to do one, or do you want to skip for Sunday and then we'll just do 2 hours Sunday? Which one would you guys like to do? Do you want to
2
have
hours Sunday.
okay? Want to have a session tomorrow, or you want to refresh, catch up on the recordings, and then just start up back on Sunday?
What would
Okay.
be the time on Sunday?
Sunday.
Oh yeah, we talked about this. So I'm thinking 6 p.m. Sunday.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
6
I'll
p.m.
just
Sunday.
be getting in from church, so I may be a little late, but I'll
That's
be
good.
on.
You're just gonna pull up anointed and everything. So we need that. We need that. Yeah. All right. The majority have spoken. All right. So before I leave, what did you guys like best out of today's session? Because we did cover everything I said I wanted to talk about. Jazz? Damn, I didn't talk about today. Today was such a good trade. they as soon as I found out like the whole situation with Microsoft, I was like, bet I know today we're gonna sell. And then when price did a break and retest and came back to retest, uh it looks so good on both US 30 and NOS, but I traded US 30. I saw price did the break retest here, then break retest, and it sold, then it pulled back at the earlier hours, like just before 9:30. I got in right here, added a whole bunch of positions, and that thing swam to the bottom. Like, yes, sir. That was a good trade today. And some of my guys, they caught Nas, and Nas was so perfect. Price just broke structure, pulled back like a slingshot. Then by the 9:30, they pretty much pulled back in above the pre-market 8:30 hours, 8:30 and stuff like that. And then they break and retest again. Shoot, by 11, you could still take some really good trades. So shout out to some of my people who caught that sell. You know who you are. I ain't gotta call you out. I'm pretty sure it's a couple of you guys who also caught some really good trades too. So DeAndre, only because I'm 3 hours behind EST. Damn, yeah, that's a hard one. Yeah, waking up at 5 in the morning. Yeah, that's tough. Pre-market also, I'm not sure price done selling, wait for a break and retest. Yeah, if you're not sure if price is doing something you can't tell, just wait a day. I literally let a full session show me their hands so I can like pick up on what they're doing so I can follow up. Yeah. I was telling my wife this. I was like, babe, you know how we like to watch, Animal Planet and documentaries and stuff about like wild animals? Because she's into that. And so am I. Like National Geographic. I'm like, bro, it's so crazy how the tiger or the lion will literally watch the gazelle or the zebra pull up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to drink water from that low, you know, pool of water. But by Thursday, by the time that brother has his full teeth sunk behind that zebra's ass, it's too late. Just accept your fate. It's over. Because it sat there and watched you do what you like to do in your own natural habitat. And then by the time the enemy strikes, it's over. Brother, just say your last prayers, your grits. And that's what I like to do sometimes with the market. If I can't tell what's going on, I just sit here and study you and behave and watch you do what you do. Study your behavior, study your behavior. By the time I got my full lot size up in that trade, you got no choice but to go where you need to go. Hey, big dog, go ahead. I already see what you've been doing for the last couple of days. All right, go ahead and break and retest now. Do what you do, buddy. Do what you do. So y'all gotta really take back your power. Like stop trading out of desperation. Know that when you pull up, you gotta be about your business, make it count, and stop thinking you're not in control. Like the market might be weird and we're not in control of the market, but you got to be in control of the high quality setups that you studied. So when you execute like a grown trader, like a professional, not trying to like get lucky, bro. Like enough of that. That's when you'll finally believe that what you're doing, like you making it count. That's when you'll finally embrace that side of you that said, yes, we're capable. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Like I'm made to reap the benefits of my sacrifices. Yes, I deserve abundance. Yes, I can be a six-figure trader. If I put enough lot sizes in a trade setup and I confidently add positions, yes, I will have my first 1K day. Yes, I will have my 10K day. Yes, I'll pull 50K out this market. Who's seeing me? That's what I want y'all to really embrace and know for sure that you are deserving of abundance. All right. So you guys have a great night. I'm not gonna push it. I think this is good. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Have a great night, guys. Much love.